Hey guys, this is Don, just driving back home to my gorgeous Buena Vista. And I wanted to chat a little bit, just briefly, about probably the most common thing that you need to understand when working with investors, and that is that they are numbers people primarily. I mean, everybody's an emotional person at one time or another, but when it comes to business, and I'm speaking here both as an agent and as an investor, the numbers have to work. And so investors spend their time looking at projects where all of the numbers fit into their ratios so that they have a good expectations for a return on investment. And I'm going to briefly go over that. So when I look at something for an investor, really what I'm trying to do, I guess the first shot at it is it at 70% of after repair value? That's kind of a good, real quick guideline to find out if it's something worth spending time on when you're doing research. And the way you get into it a little more, if it does get close to that 70% of what you think after repair value will be, and by the way, after repair value is just top of the market. It's what you can sell it for after doing all of the rehab work and the remodeling. So let's say the after repair value is $200,000. We see a property priced at $149 in a good neighborhood, where there's some comps at $200,000 for similar houses. Then I'm going to look at it. Okay, here's how it'll go. $149. All right, that's the list price. What I'm going to do basically is look at what kind of rehab it needs, and generally speaking, on a remodel, a good rule of thumb is somewhere around $30 to $40 a square foot for remodeling work. So if this is a 1,000 square foot ranch that's 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, and it pretty much needs a full rehab, then I'm going to assume a $30,000 cost on it, okay? And then you're going to want to think about their money cost, their loan, because most investors are either using private money or they're going to use hard money or some hybrid, thereof. But usually, if you figure 15% annualized interest rate for a 6-month term, so in this case, if they are purchasing a property for $149,000, they're going to put 30 into it. That's 180 grand roughly. We're going to figure 15% of that. That'll be 15,000 plus whatever 15% of 80 is, I guess, another 12. So 27 grand per year. We divide that in half because we're going for about 6 months, right? So we're looking at maybe 13,000 in interest. Okay, so you got 30,000 rehab, 13,000 in interest, and then in this case, with a 4% commission on the resale and some closing costs up front, you're probably looking at maybe $9,000 to $10,000 in closing costs and resale costs. All right, so we went to I think it was 30,000 rehab, about 15,000 to 17,000 interest, and call it 10 grand for costs. So we're going to end up with about $57,000 in hard costs. Okay, and they need a margin, of course, right? Usually at a deal like this, investors won't look at it unless they expect to make at least maybe 20. So we ended up at 57, add 20 to that, that's 77. And then you simply subtract that from the after repair value of 200,000. So in this case, we're looking at a $123,000 offer on a $149,000 house. Okay, that's where the investor pretty much needs to get it for it to make sense to them. And when it comes to working with wholesalers, that's precisely what they're thinking about. They're just going to work an extra $3,000 plus into that price in order to get their markup when they sell it off. So I hope that's helpful, and we'll talk soon.